Hey guys, coming to you with just a quick rundown of some things that you might want to consider for your kit to maintain your knives. This isn't for sharpening. This is just for, disassembly, cleaning, and lubrication. So, with that being said, let's get into it. So, we start out for my kit. One of the big essentials that I really will not go without now is my pad. This green armorer's tray from CountyCom. This keeps a lot of my project contained, keeps my screws easily visible, and keeps them from rolling around. Huge benefit when you're doing this. So I highly suggest something like this. You could get one with better organization and stuff too. They have like little sectioned off pockets. They work great. This one just happens to work for me. Getting into almost any of your knives, you're going to have to disassemble with Torx bits. Most of them, it's T10, T8, and T6. My most grabbed one here is usually this. I only grab this, and I grab this because this is not in my normal kit. This is just in a drawer of that's real close at hand, real easy to find. Comes with its own little self-contained bit kit with a magnet base here. Super useful. Does not, the only thing with this one, just be aware that it does not come with a T10. So for you Spyderco people, like me, I had to supply my own T10s. My driver that's in my typical kit is the TPK from CountyCom. Just a little bearing action up top. Real good, simple driver that works really well. Had no issues with it. Does come with a little kit of its own. With bits, again, does not come with a T10. The bits I tend to grab the most are in this holder here. I ended up grabbing a 10-pack of T10s, T8s, T7s, and T6s that I just put 2 of each down the row here, and then just a couple random ones at the end. This is the one I grabbed for the most. The extra bits I bought were from Weehaw. You can get them through Amazon. These nice little 10 packs that work real well. I don't have what I use to clean on here, and that's typically just some sort of clean cotton rag, or those Scott's Blue towels. Those work real well just to get dust and stuff off. They can get into little nooks and crannies a little better. But, after that, if I'm going to coat a blade, I'll typically use something like 3-in-1 oil. Or something similar to that. Some sort of mineral oil that's not going to be horribly bad for it. I know they're making some special ones from like Knife Pivot Lube. They make I think it's called Knife Shield. That might be something for you to check out. I actually want to check that out soon. But I just haven't gone there yet. Once you're back on to assembly, you've cleaned, you've lubricated. Oh, I'm sorry. You're on to lubrication. I use just Knife Pivot Lube, and it's basically I just get the original and the heavy. And the original I use for pivots, the heavy I use for detents, and I've had absolutely zero issue with it. Other than I am a horrible over applier. I over apply every once in a while. If you are reassembling certain things, certain screws definitely like to work themselves out, especially pivot screws. Always recommend getting some sort of thread locker. I just use Loctite blue. Don't use red or green. Just use blue. You use blue because you want to be able to get it apart again at some point. I always suggest having some sort of illumination for your knife kit. This is just an old light I happen to have that I grab every once in a while. It doesn't stay with the kit, but just having something to you'll get some better illumination. One, let's see if I can actually get this off without being weird about it. One that I do like to use every once in a while, especially when I'm out and about, is my Civivi bit driver, the keychain one. So with this particular one, I actually have two on my ring with a T10, a T8, and a T6. This is my T8 and T6 combo one. So T8 there. This is a double-ended bit with a T6 at the other end. My other one carries a T10. I can probably revamp that soon because I haven't been carrying Spyderco much lately. But that stays with me. And it is very useful. If you want to just get that little, just a little turn on the pivot. Beyond that, that's pretty much the kit rundown. The only extra thing I have is my, let's see if I can slide this back just a hair and get my vise. This was kind of gotten out of necessity, and it was because I had a product I carried a lot, but when I needed to actually disassemble and clean it, and that it was like I needed a third hand, and that was the Tyrant razor. This actually isn't my original from the other review. I lost that one, and I had to replace it with this, and I would do it again, but I'm trying to hold on to it. Still has that one, I don't want to call it a problem because it's just the way it was designed, but getting at these back little screws here, one's a barrel nut. One is a barrel nut and one is a screw. Both use T6s, and you basically need to have it stood up and then come at it from both sides with a T6 strap. And it's royally a pain when you can't hold it still. That's where this came in. And this was only like $24. So none of this in this kit is particularly expensive, but if you're going to be getting into knives and it's something you're going to be taking some care of, I definitely suggest getting something at bare minimum. And this is just me talking because if I had to get this down to absolute minimum, it would be my driver, my bits that I most use, my knife pivot lube, and my Loctite. That, if I had just this in a bag, I could be just fine. For the most part, I could be just fine as long as I had like a crappy t-shirt or something to like use as a rag. Everything else is kind of gravy on the train here, but if you had that, you can do almost everything. So that's a good rundown. If it helps you, kind of see which way you need to go with it, if you want to know what you need to keep your knives in pretty good shape, cleaned, maintained, lubricated. I hope that helped you. And this is Scooter. I'm going to sign off, and you guys have a great week.